trying that tobacco road thing. Go ahead, Wes.
And still the semester break, therefore you don't have to go home. You can just take the old Greyhound, the Trailways, the Academy bus west on I-40, and that's where we find Malik Osborne this morning for the Packer and Durham program. Look at him. There we go. All smiles. Oldest guy on the team by about a year and a half, Pack, by the way. Don't forget that. I mean, what's it like before we get into the year, and there's enough to go around? I mean, you're 11 games into – is this your last year? You're going to try and get one more and play, till you're 24, 25 years old. How you figured this out?
This is going to be my last year. Trying to go out with the bang.
Well, I know this
all
much.
Right. So
we did. Go ahead, Wes. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Pack. That's all right.
No, go ahead.
All right. So you guys get the win in Raleigh. And I would say coming off the pause, a bigger win than people are probably thinking about, Malik, because, hey, look, lost the home game to Syracuse. I mean, kind of needed to find that one on Saturday, I'm guessing, right?
Most definitely. Wanted to even out the series as far as conference play. We knew that after losing to Syracuse, that how important conference play is, especially winning games on the road. And so, even though we were on break, it was a lot of time to prepare, get mentally ready, and also physically ready. And then we came out there and gave NC State our best shot, and was grateful to come out with the win.
Malik, we were just talking about how important it's going to be for everybody in this conference. If you lose one at home, it feels like you got to steal one or two on the road, doesn't it? I mean, and you guys never, ever lose. And so when all of a sudden Syracuse gets you, I'm sure the mindset was, okay, you know what, it stinks. But now we got to go grab one or two from on the road. And again, you got NC State in your back pocket now, which is beautiful. You won a tight game, which was really important. Now you get this Wake Forest team, and I know they've lost 2 in a row on the road, but, man, they've been really, really good, and they've really, really been tough at home. So you know what's in front of you coming tomorrow night.
Yeah, we definitely do, especially, like you said, with Wake Forest losing two in a row in conference. It's a really good team, have a whole bunch of veteran guys on the team as well, so we know that it's going to be a big fight. But, we got a young team, but we have a team that's very talented and willing to learn. So, we're going to give them our best shot, and they're going to give us our best shot, and we're willing to come out, willing to settle for whatever the result is at the end, as long as we give it our best.
All right, so how much leadership, and I said you lead Florida State in a lot of areas, scoring, yes, rebounding, yes, but there's also all this intangible stuff too. You kind of got to be the on-the-floor guy. I mean, you're the one that's been there for all of this. How much of that, you and Wyatt Wilkes are the old heads, if you will. How does all that come into play when you got guys banged up, you got new guys coming in? I mean, you got Cleveland, you got Fletcher, you got Mills. You're trying to integrate everybody here, Malik.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, I would say the veterans have done a really good job at just being able to show the younger guys and the newer guys are pretty much from our personal experience. We've been in the program for a long time, and we've seen a lot of great leaders come through this program and how they've handled various situations just like this one with Trent Forrest, Devin Vassell, Terrence Mann, Phil Kofer, MJ Walker. I mean, the list goes on and on. But we were grateful enough to see these guys, these leaders in action. And so basically we're taking those same concepts, the same procedures, the same strategies they had and applying it to the young guys. And it's working well. At the beginning, it's rough because we're asking them to do some things that they've never done before. But by leading them by example on the court and also just talking with them and answering questions and providing guidance off the court, we know that the team is starting to gel as the season progresses on.
Malik, last year was nuts with COVID, right? Everybody was pausing, delaying, postponements, cancellations. Mentally, you had to still be dialed in. Physically, it was tough. You're trying to stay safe. Now, all of a sudden, it kind of looks like we go through the most of 21. Life is good. And all of a sudden, bam, you guys don't play another game for 17 days. I'm sure there's flashbacks of, oh, man, here we go again. As a guy with experience, how difficult was this last run of 17 days without playing a game? And now moving forward, what you went through last year, that experience in helping the rest of a young team kind of figure their way and navigate through this COVID?
I mean, just being able to go through the COVID year last year provided us lot of experience, but also just a lot of different ways to handle certain pauses. Because I think last year we had two pauses, I believe,
Yeah.
and so throughout those pauses, we were able to get creative and figure out how do we still keep our chemistry up, how do we still keep the guys engaged, how do we keep our minds fresh, how do we keep our bodies fresh. And so going through this pause again, we just took those same things and applied it to this team. We understood that, you know, it's very unfortunate to go through a pause, especially missing out on 3 games that the guy we know that everybody wanted to play and everybody wanted to see, but being able to still keep the young guys engaged, the young guys involved and attentive to basketball. That was a big thing about it. We didn't want our chemistry to fall off because we know that that's the key part of us. That's what makes Florida State, and what creates our culture. So the guys being able to take certain things such as hanging out with guys, playing the game with guys, watching film with certain guys, and just keeping everybody involved and engaged. That's what I would say was the biggest part of coming out the break and keeping everybody focused on the rest of the season as well.
All right, Malik, here's the go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to follow up with you. You know, the other thing that could keep everybody engaged is a road trip to Stratford Road to get about 4 dozen Krispy Kremes because you just never know how long that COVID's going to last there, Malik. Just saying. Yeah. You talk about team chemistry. You come walking back to the hotel with 6 dozen Krispy Kremes from Stratford Road, you'll be amazed how everybody gets along, man. Brings everybody together.
I promise you it does. I promise you.
Hey, Malik, in a weird way, can you compare this to last year, to 2 years ago, to, I mean, any of your other previous seasons in Tallahassee because of the roster turnover and all the things that have happened?
I would say this is probably its own unique year, especially having the amount of new guys that we do have. Not only do we have a lot of young freshmen, but we also have a lot of young transfers as well. You have Cameron Fletcher, sophomore, and then you have Caleb Mills, also sophomore. This is a unique situation, but you know the culture that we have, it applies to everything. It applies to an older team, it applies to a younger team. It's just really all about the players and how we stay connected. So this is, like I said, a unique situation, but everything that we've done in the past, it still applies and it's still working. So, I mean, as the old saying goes, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So that's just pretty much how we're going with this year.
Malik, your head coach is one of our favorite people on this show, and he was giving us a hard time because we have this thing that if you make 10 appearances on the show, you get a free mug, and he was giving me a hard time last week. Where's my mug? Because he hadn't received it yet. You've now heard enough from Leonard during your career. Give me one thing that you've seen Coach do that the young guys haven't obviously seen yet that you just smile and go, yeah, I remember when I was a freshman, or, yeah, I remember when he pulled that stunt on me back in my sophomore year. I'm sure there has to be something that Leonard has, like one of his automatics to keep these guys on their toes.
I mean, he has quite a few. He has a couple sayings. I would say one thing he does that I would remember when I was younger was that he would kind of like, he would act like he didn't remember your name until, you know, he was like, man, so can you grab me some boards? I haven't seen you jump. And then whoever it is goes and gets about 8 or 9 rebounds. He's like, oh, I remember your name. And then they feel all good about themselves. So I mean, he's done that with a lot of guys this season. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's funny when you hear it, but you know the purpose behind it because you've been there before. You're like, I remember when he acted like he didn't know my name and he kept calling me knucklehead, and then you thought about, does he really know my name? And then next you know you have a good game, and then he knows your first, middle, and your last name at practice. So then, I mean, it's one of those funny things that you enjoy it when you get older.
All right, but here's the funny thing about Florida State, and tell me if I'm wrong about this. There's Coach Ham, which is one thing, right? And all the little things that go with Coach Ham, the singing and the old head, just all the generational stuff. Then there's Stan, who's the quiet guy until you get in the huddle, and then all of a sudden, here's the whiteboard and Stan Jones. And then there's Charlton Young. And I feel sometimes for Steve Smith because I don't want to leave Steve out, but CY and Stan are like the perfect complements to Coach Ham, aren't they, Malik?
Oh, like yin and yang. Yeah, I mean, because Coach Ham, sometimes he gets quiet sometimes, but Coach Jones comes through with all the analytics. He's the numbers guy. He calls himself a basketball encyclopedia, and I mean that's exactly how I see him. He comes through with all the numbers, and then you got CY coming through with all the personality. It's like when you almost get tired of hearing all the numbers, then here comes Coach Young with all the gimmicks, all the laughs, all the jokes, but it's a perfect balance, like you said. You got one person giving you the numbers, the analytical side, and you got somebody else coming through with the emotional side, and then it's just like a perfect blend with Coach Ham, who's a mixture of both. He's been around, he's been coaching for I don't know how long, but it's been a very long time. But he's been able to use that experience and able to know when to use the numbers game and then know when to use the personality game, because not only are we just players, but we're also kids, we're human as well. So as much as we love to hear the numbers and the statistics and the analytics of everything, but we love to use our personality as well, because there's a lot of personalities on this team.
All right, last thing from me here. You just had to deal with Darion Sebron on Saturday in Raleigh. Tomorrow night is Alondas Williams of Wake Forest. I mean, Malik, you've been in this league enough to know this. I mean, every night there's going to be somebody, right? Sebron is, I mean, Packer calls him the plastic man. Sebron's unbelievable. I'm not quite sure we've seen anything like Sebron in a while in this league. Alondas Williams, though, now that looks like a guy, if the first 2 or 3 go down, you better batten down the hatches now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you're exactly right. Sebron is a great player, able to get to the rim, especially at his size, able to finish with both hands, capable shooter. He's definitely a great player and going to be even better as time goes on. And Alondas, the transfer from Oklahoma, another great player, very high IQ. He seems to do it all, being able to pass, shoot, play defense, get to the cup. I mean, these are great players, but I mean, it's the ACC. There's a lot of great players in this league, and they're all talented. But that's what makes the conference play so fun. You got a lot of players, and you gotta that makes you that much more engaged into the scouting report, being able to just to focus. But at the same time, these are competitors as well. So it's what makes the conference interesting, especially when you play on the road and the crowd's going crazy, and that they're trying to do their thing going on, but. You also got to hold down the fort as well, because at the end of the day, somebody's got to lose and somebody's got to win. But, these players definitely make it interesting.
Malik, we've asked folks who watch and listen to the show to come up with their New Year's resolutions for 22. Do you have one? And if so, could you share it with us?
Oh, I had a couple New Year's resolutions. I would say my first one was to kind of rekindle some relationships and stay in touch with a lot of people that I felt like I may have not been in so much contact with over the years of my college career. This basketball world, especially in college, is very hectic. It's very busy. I'm pretty sure you guys know, but it makes it hard to kind of keep in touch with everybody. And I really want to get back in touch with those people and let them know that I'm still here. I'm still thinking about you, even though I may be busy with basketball school, and they may see me and don't think I see them, and I want them to know that I still see them, and I'm still here. And then my other resolution is to be less stressed. I mean, like you said, I'm an older guy, one of the oldest on the team. I can't be stressed out. I don't want to start seeing any gray hairs in the beard yet or on the head. So I really need to try to come back on all the stress.
You need to get some of that Leonard Hamilton health skin cream, man. The dude's 35 years old, man. I don't know what he's doing down there in Tallahassee. He's the youngest looking 70-year-old man I've ever seen. Got something going on.
You got Hamilton's secret stuff. You know how Space Jam with Michael's secret stuff. They got Hamilton's secret stuff in the back. I might have to go back and get me a cup.
Hey, I love it. Hey, Malik. I know after we hung out for a few minutes in September, you were telling me you want to do this, so you probably will not have enough time to work us back into your schedule, but we enjoyed having you on.
Oh, no, I enjoyed you guys having me. It's been a pleasure, as always.
Enjoy those donuts, man.
Go get the Krispy Kremes, Malik. Be a teammate. Be a teammate.
I will. As a leader, I got to do it.
You got it. Stay safe.
Take care, my man.
You guys
Malik
too.
Osborne.
Take care, you guys.
You bet. Thanks. In Florida State and Wake